Hello, everybody. I'm Helen, and I teach at the Dorothy Benson Senior Services Center. And this is our week 4 of our Japanese folklore Sashiko stitching class. And I'm just working on this off and on, and it's the hemp leaf pattern, but it's really not that hard if you follow the instructions. Okay. So right now, what I've done is I've gone from here, yeah, and then I've gone there, and I'm going here now, okay? And then I'll finish this. I've already done this one right here, okay? And it has you do the diagonal line, so it just seems complicated, but you just follow the system. It's really not that hard, okay? So we'll put this aside, and I'll work on this a little bit at a time. This is, I'm stitching on some linen remnant that I had. And so today we're going to work on the needle book. I think that's what you call it. Last time we did the pincushion, and I did stuff it with that walnut shell thing. So hopefully it'll sharpen my needles. And this works pretty good. So today we're going to make this pincushion. And what I'm going to show you how to do is, this one's huge, okay? And it's because the design that I used, the stencil, was big. So actually it had 3 of these. So it was a big circle design. I just used one of the flowers. And I did stitch it in 2 different color embroidery. It's number 5 pearl cotton. I used 2 different colors. Right here, I don't know what that is. It's kind of like a goldish color, maybe ochre, and then the white thread. And this one opens up. It has a tab here with big snaps. And this one opens up, and I sewed this onto this page. And this is filled with, I think it's wool yarn, okay? Because the wool is nice on needles. And I've got 2 of these, this covered in linen channels I made. And that way my needles will stay. This is actually my very first fabric paint example that I did decades ago. And I've kept it to this day. So I attached it here to make a little pocket. Let's see, it looks like I sewed the tab here to go all the way here. Okay, so instead of just attaching the tab right here, I let it run all the way here to make it more secure. Now, if you look at this, I have stitching right here. And oh, this is a seam, okay? But I have stitching right here that goes all the way through to the back side. All right, this thing is padded on both the outside and the inside. So it kind of has a nice feel, and it keeps the fabric in place. The inside stiff thing is cardboard. It's just plain cardboard. So I'll show you step by step what I've done. I took some cardboard, okay? And I don't know if you can see the cardboard in there. All right. And then instead of folding in half, I took the rectangular sheet of cardboard and I scored it. Scoring means I just cut only just like the surface layer of the, actually I scored it on this side, surface layer. And that way the cardboard will bend just like that. And this is about 1/2 inch. I just gave it a 1/2 inch. Then I just took, because all I had was Eileen's tacky glue, and I just ran a bead of glue here and here, and you might have some kind of a spray glue. This is leftover batting from a baby's quilt that I made. I think it's cotton, that cotton warm and natural or something. I'm not really sure. It gives a little bit of padding, okay? So that's my base. This cardboard is, I think Amazon is now using a little bit softer cardboard. Yeah, it's not as hard. So it kind of bends And use a, like a matte knife or a very sharp knife carefully to cut your cardboard. That part you need to measure. Now, I took that Sashiko piece that I did before as an example. Okay, let's see. And this is the back side. And I didn't have enough, so I attached some more leftover linen fabric to extend it. And then I found another, actually I think this is cotton. Yeah, I think this is cotton fabric. I attached it to the cotton fabric. I stitched, the reason why they're stitched, I've only stitched these two sides, okay? And the reason why there's two on this side is I'm really bad measuring. So when I first measured, I think it was too tight, okay? So I ran another stitching line and I was going to unpick this stitch line. And then I thought, instead of unpicking, I'm just gonna slice off that amount. So I just cut off that amount and so ignore that, this stitching line, this is the stitching. Now I did go ahead and use pinking shears on this. I could have gotten closer, but because this is linen tends to kind of like slide out. It's got long fibers, so it kind of slides out. So this is the back side of the thing I stitch. And remember I said you have to line almost all Sashiko stitching pieces. Okay, so I'm going to turn it inside out. So, here it is. It goes all the way through. Now, this is going to end up being the front of the needle book. So I have to slide this guy in. Which way? Doesn't matter. Okay, I'm gonna slide him in this way. And I want a tight fit. And the reason why is because this linen fabric on the outside is going to stretch. Linen just stretches. It just has a little bit of, so it's pretty tight. Unfortunately, the cardboard is kind of weak, so I might accidentally bend it. If worst comes to worst, like let's say you were putting this in and it turns out, I guess you can put 2 layers of cardboard together, but then I have to take it out and redo the whole thing. So we'll just keep it at that. And let me see if I can get this in here. The seam right here is going to make it a challenge. Okay. So I guess I have to be patient and hopefully the batting stays where its glue doesn't like scrunch up somewhere. Something's going on in here. Let me check. Maybe I can pull it from this side. It's that seam. It's getting caught on the seam. Okay. Okay, now I have to decide where it's going to stop and make sure everything's straightened out. I actually stitch this real close to the edge, so I have to pull this out a little bit, adjust it. Okay. I've got a little bit more to go because when I fold it, see it goes over there. So just pull out just a little bit more. Batting's still staying, that glue's holding. I'm afraid if you use the spray glue, I don't know if it'll hold that well. Okay, I think I'm pretty close here, all right? So this is going to be the thing and it's going to open up, all right? Now, I guess I could have sewn this on the sewing machine. I didn't think about that. Okay, yeah, I could have sewn that on the sewing machine, but I don't want to take this out again. So I'm going to actually, I'm going to leave this excess fabric. And the reason why is if I'm going to sew a snap-on here or something, I'm going to need that extra reinforcement. So I'm going to carefully tuck this inside. Yeah, we're going to keep that extra extra fabric. So tuck this inside the best and neatest I can do it. Okay. At this point, I'm going to pin it. All right. So, and I'm actually going to pull it up a little bit. Pull the this fabric up a little bit. The inside fabric. Okay. I'm going to make it go to the edge and pin it. Okay, so then fix this corner. My corner seems to be a little bit funny. You can fix that. Make it as neat as you can possibly make it. Okay, so I'm going to pin it. So I made the corner as crisp as possible. Now the cardboard inside is cut at a diagonal just a little bit because the fabric, there's going to be excess fabric there. And that way there's room for this excess fabric to go in there very neatly. Okay, so I got that pinned up, and then I'm going to slip stitch this, okay? I'll do a real quick one, and then I can go back and reinforce it later. So I'm gonna start from this corner. And let's see if I can get this. See, I can't see this very well. You probably can't either. So let me see if I can do it this way so you can see, okay? And I'm going to pick like maybe 3 threads from there. And then 3 threads on the edge there, okay? But I'll do a quick one so that we can go, and then I can always come back and run another, do another row of slip stitching over the same area to reinforce it. So you kind of want to slip stitch it about an 1/8 of an inch away, distance. But I'm going to do double that so we can move on to the next step quickly. Okay, and it's not hard to do. It's one of those things. A lot of people think hand stitching is not fun or it's a chore, but I actually like to do hand stitching because it's kind of real, and I do it while I'm watching something like a show on Netflix or something. I find it relaxing. Now, the only thing is you can't do this. You can't watch something that requires subtitles because then most likely you'll stab yourself because you're trying to read the subtitles at the same time. So, and then a lot of times I'll watch something that I've already seen several times. And a lot of my favorites are the British mystery shows. So I'll watch those, and then that way I don't have to like pay attention closely because I already know what happens. But it's kind of like background since it's just myself and the cat here, and the cat's rather quiet. So, ouch. So it's just a fun thing to watch. Now, of course, you want to use the matching color thread, so you can't see all those stitches. Yeah, this cardboard's really thin. I think they switched to thinner cardboard, or maybe this box just happened to be very thin cardboard. We had plenty of cardboard, so I could have made this double thickness, glued two pieces together, but then I have to deal with a thicker edge and calculate, how much fabric I need to wrap around. It's probably better to just get cardboard that's sturdier than to layer two layers. I guess you can use foam core, but remember the foam core is pretty thick, although it'd be lighter and probably stiffer. And as far as the padding, maybe 2 layers of flannel, if you had some flannel laying around that you needed to use up. Maybe even thin fleece, but fleece is a knit fabric, so it might stretch on you and buckle up. So woven, except for this batting kind of stretches, and it didn't really buckle up on me. I did have it glued pretty well. Okay, so snip that off. Okay, so now I've got this front done, right? And at this point, you want to kind of like smooth it out and pull the oops, let me move this. You want to smooth it out and kind of like pull it, so it's a pretty good tight fit. Make sure it's in there really good, straighten everything out. What's this? Okay, this is where I had to attach the extra fabric. All right. Now, at this point, we really need to stitch through the cardboard. I guess we can do that later. Sometimes I'll do it before. Okay, so I'm going to pull this tight, but yeah, I do have to stitch this because when you what do you call it? When you fold it, this fabric moves this way. You'll have, and then it'll bunch up here. So bunch up on the inside. So we'll stitch the inside. What I'm going to use is, this is a very big, thick needle. I don't know where I got this guy. And I have 2 strands of number 5 pearl cotton. You can use whatever. And you don't have to tie a knot, but I did. And you need to find that, remember I scored it twice? You need to find that first place I scored. I'm going to actually go, let's see if I can do this right. Okay, so it's real hard to push it through the cardboard and everything. So I have this sewing awl. I'll just stab it with this. I got to make sure I'm on the right place. Oops. Yeah, we don't want to break the Sashiko stitch. So I got it coming out. And let's hope I can do this. Okay. Well, it's good enough. Some of the batting looks like it came out. Okay. So I'm just going to just do a couple of stitches and come back and do a couple that way. So now, and the longer stitches are going to be on the inside. Now I got to figure out where this is coming out. Well, I guess it doesn't have to be that perfect. It's not like I'm selling this, so. I'm either shoving, I think I got a Sashiko thread caught here. Go back in there. It's trying to come out. I think this needle's too thick. I've got this is the, I like the doll needles. I mean, they're really super long. I think that's what this is. Yeah. And I'm going to try to thread this one. I can't see anything. So I'll use this guide to help me thread. I need to lick this guy. Yuck. And stick it in that hole. Oops. Okay. Instead of licking it, I should have used this thread magic. It's kind of like a silicone thing. It takes the place of beeswax. Kind of makes it stiff too, so that's good. Okay, let's hope this works. I wonder why I'm having so much trouble. Okay, let's try this again. Oh, just easier, I could just thread it this way. Yeah, I can just thread it that way. Okay. So this is where did that go? Oh, doll's needle. Okay. And I made a hole somewhere, didn't I? Okay. So I'm gonna get that to come out. Okay, this one's a little bit thinner and sharper, so it's easier to, sometimes I have to use pliers to pull it through. All right, and then I need, oh yeah, this one pierces the cardboard real well, easily, yeah. Okay, and the reason why I go center out is, if I start from one end, I might, the fabric part scoot in, I'll have a bunched up part there. And so just go and stab this again. Now on my needle book, I've got those rolls of like little tubes with wool in it to hold the needles. Some people will put pages in theirs, and they'll put their needles on the pages. They'll stick those on the. Now, I guess you have to hand sew the pages on there. And basically you'll just have sheets of wool felt is really the best thing, or you can have some wool coating fabric, and maybe you'll have two layers, and then just open two sheets, and then you open it up, and then you'll just hand stitch it onto the spine. You still have to do this to keep the lining fabric from coming loose from the spine. Okay, so I'm just going to hide the end of that thread in here. Ooh. Okay, so I got that one side. It's not the prettiest, but if my thread was completely the same color, maybe you can't see it as much. Okay, so now I've got to do from the center this way. And I think I lost my knot on the first one. Yeah, okay. Yeah, get the doll needles come in a pack of, I think 3, maybe even 4 different lengths, and they're really handy to have. They're long and super sharp. And if you can't pull it out, just use pliers. Now, unfortunately, I have to put another roll in on this side because, I've got 2 folds, okay? Because it's square shape. Okay. Get this back in here. Now you can, of course, you can do your, needle book any way you want, but if you practice your Sashiko and had a sample, you might want to turn that into a Sashiko needle book. That way you can do something with your sample. Okay. Now I'm just gonna go across here. I'm just gonna hide that stitch. All right. And then we want to smooth this out as much as possible. Come back. I'm gonna get the pliers, but it's getting harder to do on my hands. Okay, so. All right, this makes life a lot easier. Well, that one's being stubborn. I must have gone through a thread. Here we go. Okay. Let's see if you can see this or not. You don't poke your eyes out doing this. Yeah, this is probably the hardest part. Okay, on this side, I'm just going straight from the edge down because I've already got the first row of stitching to stabilize the fabric a little bit. You can do it any way you want. And I should have kept the stitches on the back a little bit shorter. If I don't, like the way the spine looks, I can always hand stitch on a piece of printed fabric. That might be pretty to do too. Okay. Yeah, this highly recommend this doll needle. It's really sharp. I think I'm having trouble when I hit this row is a lot easier because I'm not hitting some of the Sashiko thread, the embroidery thread. I think I was like running into that. Okay, well, not the best job. I think I might cover the spine with, yeah, I just had to do this in a hurry, so I'm probably gonna cover the spine with a nice piece of printed fabric, maybe. That'd be fun too. And you just hand stitch that on there. Okay. That's good enough. So now I got this really nicely wrapped thing and it's going to fold over good. So pretty good. So I'm just going to pull this as much as possible. I got a lot of excess here. However, I'm probably going to attach the tab fabric, which is actually it's on this side, isn't it? I'm going to attach the snap on the outside. So this is a little bit way too much fabric, so I'll cut some of this excess off. A lot of times, instead of measuring things perfectly, I'll just measure them larger than what they should be. And then I just cut off the excess. And that way, I'm never short, or usually I'm never short. Okay. So this time, I'm going to, well, I think I did that in the first time too. I'm going to put the extra fabric towards the front. See, I don't know if you can see this. Nope. Okay. I'm putting it towards the front, okay, and folding it as nicely as I can. Kind of like wrapping a Christmas package, just make it as neat as you can. And then see if you can find a grain of fabric. Fold it, test it, make sure it's going to be okay. Finger press that. And then the inside fabric needs to be pushed. This cardboard is way too thin and soft. So that'll teach me next time not to use, that was the only box I had. So. That'd be good. Gotta do it from this side. I guess you can use those clips here. I don't know why I'm having a hard time. And try to make your corners as neat as possible. I'm gonna use a longer needle. That's gonna hold better. Okay, maybe I pulled this too much. Okay, so I'm gonna slip stitch that. And then, there we go. I'm gonna slip stitch that side, okay? And then this part, I did a lousy job, so, you know, don't look at it carefully. But I can actually cover this up with a piece of fabric, or I can redo it. So if you're going to add the pages, this is where you would stitch it on, okay? You would just stitch it on like this. Something this big, I don't know if you want pages. You know, usually pages, you want a small little book. This one's pretty big. So what I'll do is, you know, I'll put a tab on that thing, but if you can see, I think I made, oh, I know what I did. I just kind of pleated this and then shoved some yarn in there. Then I folded the edges over and stitched it on this piece. That's all I did. Okay, I think you can tell. And you can do it any way you want. And then I'm going to hand sew a little tab here and hand sew the, you can also Velcro this if you want, but I personally don't like Velcro. Or if you want, you can stitch 2 ties on here or 1 tie and wrap it around and tuck it. You know, you have a tie and then you wrap it around and tuck it. You can do that. Okay, any way you want to do the closure, but because of the padding, it's very nice and you have space here to add stuff inside. So that's where this is where I'm at right now. Now, you don't have to make a needle case. You can take like a notebook, existing notebook, and you can cover that. Yeah, you could either stitch it, or I guess you could glue the, you know, you can put it on the book, and then you can glue it here, here, here. And then you're going to have to glue like a nice paper, you know, like a Japanese washi paper, that strong one, or a piece of fabric or something, like an end page or something in a book. But I think this is really nice. It's just a super simple Sashiko stitch design, and makes a nice book. I don't know what I'm going to use this for, but I really have to fix the spine part. That's pretty ugly. So I don't like it's going to bother me. So my next step is to stitch this. And maybe I'll use this for, instead of needles, maybe I can put like Sashiko. Maybe I can make a pocket, stitch a pocket onto here and put Sashiko threads in there. And you know what? I probably should buy another one of these snips. Okay, ones with the spring, and I can make a little pocket, but I'll have to make the pocket so that it has a flap and a snap on it so it doesn't fall out. Yeah. And that might be a good thing to have. Yeah. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed all this Sashiko stitching class, and I hope you have a chance to get interested in this and do some pieces for yourself. All right, so we'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.